Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? We're in the office. We're having some time here, working on some things. I've been, mulling over some ideas, some concepts. Always thinking about, the next move. I'm always thinking about next level. That's important in life. Very important. So thank you for tuning in today. Today is going to be good. Hopefully you learn some things, from my podcast on Monday, talking about success. Again, thank you for tuning in. Continue to share the word, share what we're doing. Appreciate you doing that. This is important. So we're at the mid-year, we're at the midpoint of the year, 2021. Actually, we just passed the midway point. So we're heading to the last stretch, okay? So I want to bring you something positive, encouraging, and uplifting to all the leaders, okay? Whether you like it or not, you are a leader. Whether you like it or not. I'm looking right at you, not the person next to you, not the person behind you, okay? I'm talking to you. All right, so on Monday, I shared about, some things as far as some principles as far as how to have perpetual success. Maybe the first 6 months of the year, you've had some achievements, which are good, some success. So I talked about how you can build on that and perpetuate it. So it's not just a one and done. So it's not just, here today, gone tomorrow. Greatness, those who achieve a level of greatness or excellence know how to repeat what they've done to have success on a continuum. That's important. One thing I didn't share because time ran out on Monday is when I played in prep school, when I was at prep school, I played for one of the best coaches, God rest his soul. He just recently passed, just went to be with the Lord. He was one of the greatest coaches I've ever played for, Coach Fletcher Arrett, okay? He was one of the best prep coaches in the country. He could have went to any college he wanted to and coached at the collegiate level. He was at Fort Union Military Academy for over 40 years. Okay, he put out over 200, 300 Division I basketball players. Some of those players ended up playing in the NBA. But he was a great coach, and he knew how to assemble talent, and then get the talent to work together to achieve success. And we went 32-1. Okay, we went 32-1 the year I was there. We had one loss, and that loss was in double overtime. We were ranked number 2 in the country, prep schools, behind Oak Hill Academy. We're ranked second. So what did we do to win 32 games out of 33? If you think about that, that's incredible, okay? Every game we went into with a target on our back. Everybody wanted to knock us off, okay? All of this talent coming together, and we used to blow teams out by 30 and 40 points. I'll tell you no lie. We were that good, okay? But what did Coach do? And this is talking about perpetual success. What did Coach do in order for us to build on each win? Okay, there was one thing he did. He did a lot of things, but there was one thing that stood out to me. Okay, after every game we won, all right, we won a lot of them. After every game we won, do you know the next practice will be the hardest practice we had all year? So after 10-0, you would think a lot of us would, relax a little bit. We're 10-0, can't be beat, can't be stopped. We just show up and get the W. Our coach, after the wins, the next practice will be the hardest practice we ever had. And he did that so that we would stay on edge. He didn't want us to relax. He didn't want us to rest on our laurels, so to speak, which is what a lot of young people do. So he would continue to push us, okay? So say we got here. We have a level of success, we're here. So in order for us to get here, okay, he would turn the heat up, to push us up. Then we get here, we're 13-0, okay? At this point, man, we can relax a little bit, coach. Come on, nope, okay? He would push us even harder. In order for us to maximize our potential and continue to build, okay, because it became easy for us. So what happened was our practices were harder than the games. He would turn the heat up in practice. So what am I saying about perpetual success? As you achieve it, don't sit back and relax, okay? Push yourself, challenge yourself, okay? That's important if you want to, in terms of continuing to duplicate it. So, all right, so I'm going to close that chapter. We may come back to another episode about success, but I want to talk about, how to handle failure, okay? How to handle failure or setbacks, because we're going to deal with that. As leaders, you're going to have failures, you're going to have setbacks, you're going to have things to not go your way all the time. You're going to have decisions that you make that don't turn out the right way. You're going to have some losses, okay? How do you handle the losses? What do you do when that happens? Do you fold it? Do you fold the towel? Do you throw the towel in? Fold the tent? Do you give up? These are natural reactions to, let's say you putting your all into it. Let's say you've been going hard and you still fall short. You've been doing your best, but it seems like your best isn't good enough. Maybe this first part of the year, you had goals and so forth, but you haven't met the goals like you thought you were. You wanted to be here at this point by July, and you're here. How do you deal with that? That can be tough. Emotionally, it can be tough. So I want to share a couple things in regards to that. I've experienced some failures in my life. The first thing I want to say is this: understand that even though you may have failed, you're not a failure. Okay, number one, there's a difference. Understand, even though you may have failed, okay, you're not a failure. You as an individual, as a leader, is not a failure. Thomas Edison failed so many times before he created the light bulb. If you read the history, he failed so many times before he succeeded. Milton Hershey, okay, the great Milton Hershey, the founder of Milton Hershey School, the Hershey Park, Hershey's chocolate candy. He failed so many times. He wasn't successful, okay? But he kept at it. He understood, even though I failed, I am not a failure, okay? You have to establish it in your emotions, because what can take a hit is your emotions. You can get down on yourself, but you gotta have the mindset that failure is not who I am, okay? So the other thing you gotta do is understand what went wrong so that you can correct it. Okay, number one, you need to understand that even though I failed, I'm not a failure. Okay, number two, figure out and identify what went wrong so that you can correct it. I've shared this before in my book. I share a story about when I was in college, University of Richmond, and my freshman year, there's a class all freshmen had to take, whether you're an athlete or not. It was called English 103, okay? You had to pass English 103, okay, before you could advance to certain other classes, okay? So everybody had to take it first semester, freshman year, English 103. So I took it my freshman year, first semester, and I failed it, okay? Didn't pass. All right, so I had to retake it. Never failed anything before, never failed a class before in my life. Now I'm in college, I'm popular, I'm on the basketball team, I'm starting, doing well, and here I am, I failed this class. I had to take a second semester. All right, so I took a second semester, and guess what? What do you think happened? Drum roll, please. Sad to say, I failed again. Okay. Now let me say this. Here was the grading system. You had to get at least a C in order to pass. Okay. So you had to have a C average in order to pass. It wasn't an F. So if you got anything below a C, that was considered failure for English 103. My first semester, I got a D. All right. Second semester, got a C minus. A C minus. All right. So now my freshman year is over. All right. Still didn't pass English 103. So I got to go into my sophomore year, okay, taking English 103. And I'm in the class with other freshmen. That ain't cool. That's not a good look. I'm on the basketball team. A lot of the freshmen, incoming freshmen know me. We just played in the NCAA tournament. You know, we just beat Syracuse. A lot of people know Gerald Jarman. And I'm sitting in a class with those freshmen. They knew why I was in there. I failed it twice. So, third time, I'm taking it again. What do you think happened? I passed. I passed this time, okay? So, what I want to say about that, you know, it was hard. I'm going to tell you, it was hard. It was challenging because I never failed anything before, but plus, I was thinking about my image, okay? I was thinking about how other people saw me. But one thing I did, okay? One thing I did was I understand where was my deficiencies. It was all about writing papers. In college, it was about writing papers. I never wrote a paper before, you know, in high school. So it was about writing papers. So I had to understand where was my deficiency. And then I got a tutor, okay? Sometime in the midst of failure, maybe you need to find some assistance. Okay, maybe you need to develop a new support system. I had to get a tutor. I couldn't be ashamed of that. I had a tutor to help me, all right? So even though I failed, I knew I wasn't a failure. That's important. And I had to identify what went wrong so that I can get better, because you know what? I needed to improve on my writing. And so now, guess what? By the time I was a senior in college, I used to do freelance writing, and professors in college used to ask for my work, okay? Because now I'm just great writer. But also too, now I'm an author. So I went from failing English 103 2 times, okay? I went from that being the lowest in the class to writing my own book, to becoming an author, all right? So don't forsake the process. Sometimes it's a process to where we want to get to, even though it's taking longer than what you expect, okay? Don't forsake the process, all right? And you got to remember that. Failure is a part of success, okay? So hopefully you got some out of this today. I know I did. You know, it's encouraging for me whenever I you know, share my stories. It's always encouraging for me, and it's a reminder of where I've come from, but also it's an encouragement for where I'm going. No matter what's in front of me, no matter what I'm challenged with, I know I can overcome it. All right, so leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. Definitely appreciate your thoughts. Thank you for tuning in. And always remember, you're destined for greatness, and we'll see you next time.